So these tickets, about what year would you say they were?
Probably mid-30s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Hindenburg wasn't around, so the Graf Zeppelin was flying. The Hindenburg flew for a while, and then it stopped flying.
Well, the Graf Zeppelin stopped, and then the Hindenburg had the accident.
Yeah. The Graf Zeppelin was clearly the best of all the Zeppelins, because it had a flawless record. No one was ever killed in the Graf. No one's ever hurt on the Graf. Maybe the crew may have gotten hurt. So who is your aviation hero of all the people?
Oh, I think several. Jimmy Doolittle will be one of them. He and I were good friends.
Oh, you actually knew?
I knew Jim and his wife.
What was the circumstances in which you met?
I was on the board at the International Aerospace Hall of Fame in San Diego and past president. So when he'd come down for...
Well, let's say someone that you didn't know, because if you actually knew the person, that's going to kind of skew how you might feel about that person as a...
He was such a kind gentleman, but I knew some of the guys from the First World Flight, and of course Lindbergh's everybody's hero.
So where would you rank him in the importance of aviation?
Lindbergh? Oh, very high up there, because of the fact that it was because of all the accomplishments that he did and the notoriety that he had that aviation really came about. But you take somebody like Roscoe Turner, I mean, he was probably one of the greatest ambassadors.
Who's Roscoe Turner?
Colonel Roscoe Turner was a big air racing guy, and he'd fly around with Gilmore the Lion in his airplane, going to Los Angeles and book a hotel room, and the hotel, the Lion smelled like hell and made a big mess, but the hotel liked it there because everybody came to see Roscoe and the Lion.
So where would you rank Santos?
Santos Dumont?
Yeah.
Oh, is one of the great pioneers, but we had another guy from San Diego, Frank Courtney, who was a test pilot for all those early guys.
But Santos was really early. I think he was up in around 1906 or so. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty early, because the Wright brothers were only in 1903. Where would you rank Hugo Echner?
Well, he was a fabulous German engineer. I don't know that I really have, been around it so much.
Well, because I mean, he's the real Zeppelin. I mean, Zeppelin wasn't really around long enough. He didn't turn it into a real enterprise like Hugo Echner did. And, so what inspired you to get this going? I mean, this is a phenomenal thing to do.
Collecting. It got carried away. My father had sold the La Valencia Hotel as a broker to Dr. Gifford C. Ewing, who was ended up being head of the Woodsole, Massachusetts Oceanographic Institute, and he's the father of oceanographic exploration from space. But he was with Scripps, and he was a pilot, and he had 2 squirrely daughters and a squirrely wife. So he liked taking me. I was squirrely, but I was a boy, so he'd take me flying, and I got interested in aviation. And at a really young age, I started collecting when I was going to Francis Parker in the 6th and 7th grade. And
so how big is your air museum?
We have 17,000 square feet, and we have over 10,000 items probably.
And what's the biggest thing in there? I mean, do you have a plane?
Probably
Air Force One in there or something?
Probably the 1930 Stearman biplane. They only made 38 of them.
And do you have a complete biplane in there?
It's flying, and we have Steve McQueen's last airplane.
Steve McQueen. What's that?
Boeing Stearman Army primary trainer that he had built up, and the N number was his reform school number. When he was
his reform school number.
When he was a bad boy at Chino Hills.
I see. I guess
3188.
He had a certain amount of pride, being that he was reform school to a top movie star.
And then we have 2 Ryans. One of them was an Army primary trainer in 1942, built here in San Diego. And the other one's 1940. That's a different Ryan with an inverted upside down Manasco 4-cylinder engine.